Okay, if you run a small or medium-sized business and you're trying to win government contracts, you know the feeling, right? You've got the skills, your bid looks perfect, but you still lose out. So what's going on? What are you missing? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the one hidden factor that could be holding you back.
All right, let's just dive right in. This is the big question, isn't it? Why do so many of these bids and projects end up falling flat, even when everything on paper seems to be in order? You know, the answer is probably not what you think it is.
And look, the numbers, well, they tell a pretty clear story. The latest data shows this really troubling trend where project failure rates are on the rise, and they're hitting smaller businesses the hardest. So no, you're not imagining it. It really can feel like the deck is stacked against you. But the real question is, why?
This quote right here gives us our first huge clue. It's from a small contractor, and wow, is it telling. They had the best price, they had the skills, but they were told they were missing documented processes and governance. And let me tell you, that's an incredibly common and frustrating story. And that just goes to show you, it's not always about being the cheapest or even the most skilled team on paper. There is this silent factor that gets weighed in these evaluations, a sort of hidden culprit that can literally make or break your entire bid.
And here it is. The hidden culprit is something called project management maturity. Now I know, that might sound like a bunch of boring corporate jargon, but trust me, you're going to want to stick with me here, because understanding this one concept, this is the key to unlocking those bigger, better government contracts.
So what is it really? Well, project management maturity is basically a measure of how well your entire company, not just one person, is set up to deliver projects successfully, time and time again. It's not about having one superstar project manager who can swoop in and save the day. It's about having solid, reliable systems and processes in place that guarantee you're going to be consistent and predictable. So what does a mature organization actually look like? Well, it means you've got established project management practices that everybody on the team follows. It means using proven, standardized methodologies and having really strong project governance. And crucially, it also means you are ready for those big compliance systems like CPARs and EVMS, which government agencies absolutely care about. Now, to really wrap your head around this, let's use an analogy that I think makes it super clear. Think about the difference between health and fitness. You know, there's a huge difference between a quick checkup when you have a cold and a long-term plan for your overall physical fitness. That exact same idea applies to your business. So this is the question you really need to ask yourself. When a project hits a bump in the road, are you just putting a Band-Aid on it, just treating the symptom? Or are you actually building the foundational strength and processes in your organization to stop those problems from even happening in the first place? Let's break down how these two approaches really differ. A project health assessment, that's like the quick trip to the doctor. It's short-term, it's focused on one single project's budget, its schedule, putting out fires. But a project maturity assessment, that's the long-term fitness plan. It looks at your entire organization, your governance, your methodologies, your compliance, to build real strategic strength for the long haul. So once you really get that difference, the next step is to shift gears, to move from just diagnosing problems in one project to building a real, lasting strategy that's based on your entire organization's capabilities. And the good news is, you don't have to figure all this out on your own. There are organizations out there that specialize in exactly these kinds of formal assessments. They can come in, give you an objective look at your processes, and help you measure just how ready you are to win and succeed on those major government contracts.
And here it is. This is the real payoff. When you can walk into a bid and demonstrate high project management maturity, you are sending an incredibly powerful signal to the government. You're not just another bidder. You're telling them you are not a gamble. You're a low-risk, high-value partner who has the systems in place to actually deliver on what you promise.
So, this all brings us to the path forward. It's all about taking these ideas and turning them into a concrete plan, a game plan for building a more mature organization that is truly built to win.
It really boils down to these 3 simple steps. First, diagnose. Check the immediate health of your current projects. Put out any fires. Second, strategize. Take a step back and evaluate and improve your long-term organizational maturity. And then, finally, you execute. You go into that next bid not just with a good price, but with the documented processes that prove your capability. That's how you turn your maturity into your single biggest competitive advantage.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. As you get ready for your next big proposal, just ask yourself this question. Is my business built to win just this next project? Or is it built with the strength and maturity to win the next 10? Honestly, the answer to that question could change everything.